All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Warkab Kodash, and the Heavenly Father. The true name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in ancient Paleo Hebrew. Last one, I the tongue, and I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles. Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of the sit-down lesson of the prophecy update. It's the July the 20th, 2026, on the Monday morning. And this is a news article as we potentially entering another new phase. A new week of the increasing tensions. Been on and on, back and forth for the past 2.5 months now between the United States armies and the Iranian armies, and as the battle of the Strait of Hormuz been heating up as well too as of lately. And then you have the blockage it's been a week now between the United States blocking the Strait of Hormuz against the Iranians, and the Iranians was occupying and managing the Strait of Hormuz as well too. They said they determined to still continue to do that as well too, as tensions continue to heat up between the United States armies and the Iranian armies over there in Iran, and over that battle of the Strait of Hormuz as well too. And this is a recent news article from Al Jazeera. It says the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps said it's ready for U.S. ground invasion. It says Hamas. And then Hamas names a new leader. 3 minutes ago, Iran reached the stage of mastery, recognized American games. Galibaf has mentioned 15 minutes ago. Yemenis announced maritime blockage of Saudi Arabia. Right, because you got the ongoing tensions are heating up potentially once again between the Saudi Arabia armies versus the Houthi rebel armies over there in the Mediterranean Sea, and over there in the Red Sea, and over there in Yemen as well too. It says 18 minutes ago, watch the occupied West Bank World Cup screen halter after unaliving. This is the book of Luke 21 and verse 25. It says, there shall be signs in the sun, in the moon, and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, perplexity and siege raging war. Where I shall be seeing the signs in the sun, the moon, and stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, perplexity, siege raging war. Was thus going to continue to increase. And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6. It says, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Right now, we hear wars and rumors of wars between the Iranians and the United States armies over there in the Persian Gulf, over there in Iran, in the battle of the Strait of Hormuz. And then you got tensions are heating up between the Saudis and the Houthi rebels. Then you got the Russia-Ukraine heating up on a day-to-day basis. So these are signs, what you call modern day wars and rumors of wars between these armies of nations. It says, you should hear of wars and rumors of wars. Now, as a news article just came out, that seemed like Iran is kind of ready for the new phase of this war. They ready for a ground invasion against the United States armies or anybody that's trying to consider doing a ground invasion against them. It says, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See, that should be not trouble, for all these things must first come to pass, but it is not yet. Matthew 24 and verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, which goes to Ethnos. It says, there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, right along with it. It's the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right, so let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, as tensions are heating back up once again throughout Western Asia. Joel chapter 3 and verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and the pointing hooks and the spears, and let the weak stand strong. Right, just like the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, and they ready for a ground invasion. over there in Iran. So that's an indicator like the weak time strong. So we see the Iranians got more confidence now. They in that warrior spirit. They're not letting up. They're gonna continue to fight back. That's what we're seeing. Even though the United States been pounding them real hard, but the Iranians been pounding them hard as well too, targeting their military bases. They got U.S. interests in those Gulf regions, the neighboring countries or those Arab countries. The United States been pounding U.S. military bases and their allies' bases as well too. And this is the book of Luke 21 and verse 9. It says, "But when ye shall hear of wars, commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not end by." Right. So these are what you call, wars and rumors of wars, wars and commotions between the armies of nations. So you're still gonna have these military exercise drills, more military spending, more military training, and more nuclear escalation and tensions heating up on a day-to-day basis between these armies of our nations. Things to come. Luke 21 verse 10, then say he unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Right, that's what we're seeing. Check out some more Slovakia. Check out some more news articles. It says 10 people injured as 400 Ukrainian drones launched towards Moscow and suburbs. And this is from RT.com as of July the 20th, updated July the 20th, 2026, and reads, it says 10 people injured as 400 plus Ukrainian drones launched towards Moscow and suburbs, officials say. At least 85 UAVs were neutralized on the approach of the Russian capital. Mayor Sergei Sobyanin, if I pronounce that right, has said. It says at least 10 people have been injured in a Ukrainian drone raid on Russia's capital and the surrounding region, including three Chinese citizens. Moscow regional governor Andrei Volovyov has said. It says on Monday morning, Moscow Mayor Shiglev Sobyanin reported that more than 400 UAVs has been launched towards a city in the suburban overnight. Is one of the largest raids on the regional to date. It says the Russian air defense attacks the upcoming UAVs between 8:30 p.m. and on Sunday and 5 a.m. on Monday. Sobyanin wrote on a social media, most were intercepted from far the capital, with another 85 were destroyed as they approached. Moscow has said most were neutralized by air defense forces and a distant approach. 85 UAVs were destroyed on the approach to Moscow, the mayor said, adding that the emergency crews were working at sites where the burst has fallen. Moscow Regional Governor Andrei Volovyov later said 10 people, including a child, were hurt in a drone attack, and 6 had been hospitalized in Dombivil, including 3 Chinese citizens, had said and that some of the patients suffers a sharpening with fractures. 2 women were injured in the Polyglic, and one the 11-year-old girl in the Odensteville district was diagnosed with acute distress reaction but did not require hospitalization. The main consequence of the raid was recorded in Polialis and Domodedovo in the Odensteville urban district, and the Volovyov has said fallen damages several private homes and civilian infrastructure facilities sparked multiple fires. He added, On Dulceville, a car in a private home was damaged, though no injuries were reported. In Paldelis, fire broke out, and several civilian infrastructure sites were damaged, along with a private home in the village of Malili in Tobal, Tobalino. Separately acting Branch Governor Iglo Kolovaki says one were unalive and 13 others were injured in the attack launched by Ukrainian troops. In an interview from RT, Stanley Sleuth and Karbovev, a former U.S. official, says that the Ukrainians is unable to effectively attack Russian military and a key district targets due to the increase of defense, opting instead to go after softer civilian economic targets and civilians themselves. The latest attacks follow a massive Ukrainian drone raid on Moscow and its suburbs last week. Sobolin said that 1,892 UAVs has been launched towards the region between July 11 and 18, and most intercepted at long range in 207 destroyers close to the capital. During the overnight attack alone, more than 370 drones flew towards the Moscow region. The same wave of strikes in the two hit logistics centers operating by the Russian online retailer Wildberries in Koltovy in Tambovo region in Alexandrov near Moscow. It says the attacks 8 people. It says the attacks unalive 8 people and injured dozens more, according to the regional officials. Wildberry is often called the Russian version of Amazon, and one of the most popular online retailers, Kiev, confirmed that as this delivery target the warehouse, claiming that they store components used in drones and navigation equipment. Ukraine has sharply intensified its long-range drones campaign in recent weeks, targeting oil facilities, warehouses, residential buildings, and infrastructures deep inside Russia's territory. Moscow has described the raids as a group's attacks on civilians. It says its retaliatory strikes are directly at Ukrainian military and defense-related facilities. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 4. It says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws and bring thee forth from all thy army, horse and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great couple of buck shields, all of them having swords." Right, so as we see in the Russia-Ukraine situation that is intensifying, we still going to have Russia in that warlike mindset. That's when the prophet Ezekiel was mentioned that the Heavenly Father is going to continue to put the hooks and back and jaws in these Russians, because Russia, they represents the bear in Ezekiel the 38th chapter. And this is Revelations 11, verse 14. The second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. Right, so the second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. And as it says, U.S. is plunging in wider war with Iran. The White House is likely unaware its lack of resources needed for the extending military campaign, as a mission official has told. Iran thanks Jordanians for helping target U.S. forces. It says Russian FSU units hunts down Ukrainian drones. Yeah, so these wars and rumors of wars definitely heating up. So this was just a quick sit-down lesson. Prophecy updates. Yeah, prophecy news updates. Sit-down lesson as of July the 20th, 2026 on this Monday morning. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem HaKadosh. And the Heavenly Father, the true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son Ba'Shem, in the name of the Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, the Lost Orthodox Holy Tongue. And I say Barak Thumb to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim Aquaf. Until next time, I say Kum Yasharala in the Bible Ball. Shalom.